Hello and welcome to the Sketching Greyhound and the Buffy Club. It is season finale time. Second season over. We started in the beginning, a Drew portrait, and so now it's time to complete this. Spike was elected as the MVP, so let's start with Spike. Welcome to the last episode of the second season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The last episode of the Buffy Club, though. So the last two episodes of the season. So this is one of the probably most emotional endings, season finales that Buffy had. I would say there's one that comes very close, if not surpasses it, but we don't want to spoil too much. Or even two. But this is definitely one of the contenders of the most emotional finishing. And what a pretty amazing season it was. We started with getting to know Drew and Spike as the new antagonists in the very beginning of the season. And the one we are just quite randomly drawing here in the background. Pretty amazing villains, and then even halfway through, even better, they were joined by Angelus, the evil version of Angel, when he lost his soul because he got too happy with Buffy, so a bit ironic. And so we had three quite interesting villains, and one of them with a little change of heart towards the end of the season here. As always, Buffy has to fight some kind of apocalypse, and this one is a pretty big one, I would say, which is about to swallow it all. But yeah, thankfully we have Buffy, and she is ready to do what she has to do, means fighting Angel. There is somebody, our beloved witch in training, Willow, trying to restore Angel's soul actually, so it's kind of a race against time here. Who is first, Buffy or Willow? And yeah, as I said, one of the villains has a little bit of a change of heart because swallowing the world, destroying the world, if you really like messing up the current world, not necessarily high on your agenda, so somebody is changing his opinion. But as I said, amazing second season, amazing season finale, and I won't spoil here the details for you, but you should definitely check it out. You might even jump over the first season if you're not sure about Buffy, if you even want to watch it, but the second season it really found its stride and it really showed you what it was capable of, in good and in bad, meaning that it really toys with your heart. It makes you love characters and it takes those characters away from you. And yeah, we learned that in the second season, and that became a theme throughout, so be aware if you fall in love with the series, it will break your heart multiple times. But back to this picture. In the beginning of the season 2, I was contemplating to draw both of them, but it's also a timing issue. I can't really draw both in one live stream, and perhaps you don't know, but all my pictures are drawn, or normally my pictures are drawn in a live stream, and this is the sped up version with commentary that comes out of that. So you can visit my live streams Wednesdays and Fridays if you want to. I would very much love that. But anyway, I drew Drusilla in the beginning of the second season already, and I said, okay, I just expect, I hope, and I expect Spike to also be nominated and voted for in some course of the second season. At least I hoped that would happen. And it did, so I drew first Drusilla, I think I looked it up, I think in March, somewhere around there. So quite some time ago, or in April, but at least two months old. And then now I jump back to draw Spike. Finally. And there were actually a couple of challenges together with this. But spoiler alert, it was not as difficult as I expected it to be. But perhaps it's something that also will make you a little bit more courageous and will give you a little bit more motivation to take these risks, because in the end they probably aren't as risky and difficult as you would expect to. In this case, I expected it to be quite difficult to add a second face in about the same style and optics as I drew Drusilla. I don't use this paper anymore, so I got new paper and I've been drawing at least 4 portraits on the new grey paper, which reacts totally different. It's not as coarse, I can draw in much more details. So I expected to go back would be perhaps a little bit difficult, especially since this Jew picture has surprisingly a lot detail in comparison to some of my other portraits on that grey paper. Also, I am not an expert. I am not a learned artist or something. I'm completely self-taught and I'm still on my journey trying to become better, more detailed, and advance my style. So I also did not really know if my style would look so much different already after 2 months, that it would be recognizable as the same artist, that it would look like one piece from the same person. I mean, I had drawn a Twitch streamer, Huntress Ayla, in the very beginning. It's my first video, and I tried it again to draw that portrait because I really hated the first one, and I drew another portrait of her later. And I think personally it looks much better, but if something like this would have happened for these two, that my Spike looks a lot better, for example, than Drusilla, that would have been an issue in a 2-person portrait. But it turned out not to be that big of a thing. I did speak a bit less during this live stream because I had to concentrate a little bit more and just look left and right and left and right again to keep it similar, but it worked out. So I'm very happy because of that. And that's how we got these two. Welcome Drew and Spike to the gallery. I must say I am pretty happy. It is far from perfect. He looks a little bit fuller around the face and on the cheeks and stuff. I don't know if the hair is that good. Drew's hair definitely I don't like that much anymore, but it is drawn in such a way that I cannot really add to it anymore. I cannot change that much anymore. All in all, it is pretty harmoniously. They look pretty as if they belong together, as Drew and Spike do. So that's very good, I think. Therefore, I'm pretty happy with it. I learned a lot again. I very much hope that you enjoyed it too. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate that. Give me perhaps that like, subscribe, and perhaps even ring that bell to not miss out on the next picture or live stream. You can visit me on Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm looking very much forward to meeting you there. Thanks again very much. See you soon. And goodbye.
This will be the end of trees and has